Hi everyone, this is like the fifth take. This is Santander, Spain, on the North Shore, and it's a really cool town. February 15th, 2012 is the date. I've been here once before in 2007 because my host sister and her husband live here. They met in England while getting their masters in public health and ended up settling near his hometown. And I just met an American on the train with my host sister's husband, and ended up learning a little bit about the employment situation for foreigners here. And normally Americans are barred from employment in the EU because of reciprocity agreements with the other Schengen zone countries. But apparently for public schools there's a different arrangement. She didn't specify what the salary was and all of that, but she said it was only 12 hours a week that she works. And look at the ornate architecture. But I do think that it's something like 700 euros a month that they make, and maybe it's something like tax-free. I can't say for sure. It's kind of hard for me to give you a really key view of this town because it's all so spread out, but I'll try to get you some open views around the water here because it's really, I forgot how beautiful it is here, and when the sun's out you're almost blinded by how bright it is. I would say that the weather here is quite similar to San Francisco. Maybe a little bit hotter in the summertime. I'll just walk out a little bit further and then we'll go back into the town. I'm meant to look for a cafe because I'm going to sit down and upload more videos, but also I need to be working on resume stuff a little bit just to say I did, I guess. So much political and economic stuff has been coming up in the last day that I've been here because without naming names, my host sister's husband is a doctor here, and also a union delegate that has some sway. And sorry, you have to run for your life. He is, people are really staring with the camera thing. He is part of the delegation that's going to have to do some of the unpleasant cutting. And when it comes to the public sector, there is going to be considerable cutting of doctors and nurses in remote places. So far, a lot of them have been spared, but it's not going to be that way much longer. He was saying how tomorrow, apparently the governor of Cantabria will be releasing, I guess we would consider it the equivalent of a white paper on what the budget is to be, and it's going to be a really scary time for a lot of people waking up tomorrow and checking the newspaper to see if their department will be spared. Oh, there's some kind of jam. Oh, I should walk you this way. I can't remember if there's a view once you get to the top of these steps or not, but there's something to be seen, I'm sure. Most of the traditional extra businesses around are still here from when I was here 5 years ago, but ironically the globalists that have tried to squeeze the hell out of capital in more remote places as a strategy, it's kind of backfired on them, and so a lot of the global chains have not made it through the austerity and left more room for the local business. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, so on that end it looks okay. But further compounding the issue of austerity cuts, there is a lot to be said for how qualifications are settled, because all public positions end up being on their own point system based on credentials through other public institutions. And if you don't have these very specific qualifications, you have pretty much no chance of getting your way into the system. And if you have a public position and you leave it, you're really, really, really screwed. I wonder what the hell is going on down here. Probably just, your typical traffic jam. So luckily, my host sister's husband, as a public institution doctor, when he was very young, he went and worked either in Mallorca or Malaga, I can't remember. And because of doing that very early in the game, he has a lot more choices at his disposal. But even so, he could not leave the public system or go abroad and then have his position, because these positions are kind of like a judge, and that you have them for life, unless the austerity decides to come your way. Beyond that, hopefully I can get you some beach shots here in a moment too. Beyond that, this is so distracting. Having a child, and per child, you get 2 years that you can go abroad and then still have a position in the public system if you return. But without a child, there's no way that you can leave. And so there aren't a lot of lateral movements either within the public sector. So like my host sister was saying, you have people just stamping documents for 40 years in the public system and who have all these mental issues because they have no way of really moving into anything else. And stagnation is really bad for people. It takes a lot of antidepressants to keep people working the same job for a long amount of time if there's no personal input in what happens. There is a huge cluster, you know what, going on over here. More later. Bye.